Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, Undercover Comics, coming to you from Seoul, South Korea. This is the second podcast, The Comic Book Pull-Up, and on this episode I'll be discussing the potential upside of Diamond Distributor's temporary distribution shutdown. Stay tuned. Okay, so before I begin, I want to make it perfectly clear that in no way, shape, or form am I suggesting that the coronavirus outbreak is a good thing. I'm not excited about people losing their jobs. I'm not excited about world economies taking a nosedive, and I'm certainly not excited about people getting sick and worse. My folks are in their late 60s, and I have nieces and nephews, and I'm absolutely concerned for their safety as well as ours. But the hard truth is this: the American government dropped the ball. They dropped the ball in education, quarantine procedures, medical supply management, and most importantly, they dropped the ball on testing. Because without testing, you can't establish a baseline to determine if a situation is stabilizing, decreasing, or getting worse. And regardless of any hype, a vaccine is at least 18 months out. This virus will be with us for at least another year. So, what's the solution? Well, all the solutions are band-aids, right? Self-quarantine and suspension of all non-essential work. And of course, this includes the comic industry, comic shops, and thus, comic distribution. But I argue that this comic drought will be good for both the consumer and the comic industry in the long run. Now, there has been discussion about certain movie studios like Disney, Paramount, Sony, etc. re-releasing older movies in theaters and propping those theaters up by allowing them to keep 100% of the profits. That's gate and concessions. The difference being that movie studios need movie theaters. Wonder Woman 1984 has a $200 million budget. They need theaters to get that money back. That blockbuster money funds the next 10 projects. Even at $35 a pop, straight to digital is not going to cover that. Here in South Korea, one of the largest movie studios, CGV, also owns their largest movie theater chain. They need theaters to survive. But the comic industry doesn't need comic book shops to survive. And even if they did, the comic industry doesn't have that liquidity. If Boom Studios survives, they're not going to profit share with your LCS. Perhaps content creators can make arrangements with local shops to have free signings, or perhaps publishers can create a lottery for a free retailer incentive. But that won't be enough. So, it's going to be more important now than ever that collectors hit the comic book shops and hit them hard. Now, I'm not here to sell you sunshine and rainbows. I don't have any. All comic shops are taking a huge hit, and a huge percentage will fail. But these are also times when people and businesses are most innovative, and I believe the industry will expose inefficiencies and service gaps, creating opportunity for local entrepreneurs. Not only will we see huge spikes in online sales, but we may also see the creation of a new content delivery service in physical and digital media. Now, this may suck specifically for the Wednesday Warrior because most of us enjoy visiting the brick and mortar shops, and if you're weird like me, you even love the smell of the comic book shop. But these are just some realistic adjustments that could be made, at least for the time being, to keep the industry afloat and the content creators paid. Furthermore, I don't believe the comic shops will ever truly disappear. Finally, while Diamond distribution is halted, I think local shops will make a huge push to sell overlooked back issues and books that were snubbed during the week of a hot book release. Now, Diamond's distribution halt is yet another reminder of how dangerous dependency on a middleman can be, specifically if that middleman is a monopoly that controls 99% of the market share and is the source of the single largest point of failure between 2 points. Now, to be clear and to be fair, Diamond made the right call. They shut down services and halted distribution in accordance with suggested guidelines and legal policy, but this also leaves the publishers scrambling for a new method to deliver. Perhaps publishers will take this opportunity to expand their umbrellas and seek alternative methods of distribution. Now, for comic noobs and veteran comic collectors, this is an excellent time to jump into comics or catch up on back issues and trades. New comic readers can jump into ongoing titles, and here are a few suggestions. Saga by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. Paper Girls by Brian K. Vaughan and Cliff Chang. Gideon Falls by Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino. House of X and Powers of X by Jonathan Hickman. Once and Future by Kieran Gillen and Dan Mora. Lock and Key by Joe Hill and Gabriel Rodriguez. Uncanny X-Force by Rick Remender. Venom Volume 4 by Donny Cates and various artists. Dark Knight Metal by Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. And Detective Chew by John Layman and Rob Gilroy. For the veterans out there, I recommend These Savage Shores, Hickman's Fantastic Four, Farmhand, Bitterroot, Manor Black, Spider-Man Life Story, Planet Hulk, Immortal Hulk, The Umbrella Academy, Why the Last Man, True Lives of the Fabulous Killjoys, Something's Killing the Children, Strange Skies over East Berlin, and The Plot. It's important that we all remain positive. This is a great time to catch up and read some books before the end of the distribution halt. But make no mistake about it, when this is all over, the comic book landscape will look drastically different. If your LCS survives and you love comic collecting, you need to show up. The day your LCS reopens, if it reopens, you need to be there spending money. I don't have a comic shop, but my pre-orders are still placed, and I'm also ordering back issues. Of course, I know this is going to be a financially impossible time for many people, but do what you can. Okay, with that said, I'm going to wrap this up. This is Undercover Comics with the Comic Book Pull-Up, Episode 2. Remember, safety and family first, stay home, eat some good food, read some good books, and until next time, peace.